Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be the weekly review of the Power Profit Scan newsletter, which is a portion of the Inner Circle subscription service that I offer. Should have probably had that down there. So there it is. And real quick, though, a couple quick disclaimers, as always. First off, am I trying to imply that every single alert that I send out is a massive money-making winner? Of course not. Nobody is perfect. No scan is perfect. No trader is perfect, and that includes me. So by no means am I trying to make it seem like, hey, if you sign up, it's always going to be, winning alerts. And a little spoiler warning here, I may or may not show an actual losing trade. So yeah, you will see here that I am not trying to hide any losers or alerts that don't work out or anything like that. Second off, as far as what we're going to be looking at, we're going to go back and look at the weekly newsletter, as I said, called the Power Profit Scans, back on the week of June 10th. Clay, why are you going so far back in the time? Very valid question. First off, it's just simply giving everything plenty of time to play out. That way we can see how everything actually turned out. And then second, it's just a matter of being fair because this is a paid-for subscription. The last thing I would want is for somebody to pay for something and then all of a sudden them seeing it out there on YouTube for free. I would imagine they'd be feeling pretty ripped off, and I'd say they'd be pretty justified in that feeling. So with that being said, let's get to it and look at the scans from, again, the week of June 10th. A couple quick questions that I always get and that I want to get addressed. First off, Clay, what price range do you cover? I don't really care that much about price. It's very low as far as my priority list. So, in past videos, if you've watched them, you've seen stocks that are below a penny, and then in that same, video, stocks up above $100. So I cover anything and everything. My main focus is on probabilities of success. Do I think the odds are in our favor that it'll turn into a profitable trade? And if that means it's a penny stock, then so be it. If that means it's a $100 stock, then so be it. So price very low down the priority list for me. And then the second question, when do you send these out? These are always sent out over the weekend. That way you have plenty of time to look things over and think. So it's not like it's a text message service or some sort of email that you get at the last second and then you have to go hurry up and make a decision. Nothing like that. You have plenty of time to think. Like I said, comes out on Saturdays for the vast majority of the time, and you have plenty of time to look things over. So the first one we're going to look at here is for ASNA. And as I put it up there, they're the risk versus reward category. The price had started to bottom out, so it just became a question of, hey, is this some sort of bottom? If it is, then there could be a lot of nice potential upside. If not, then assuming you're disciplined, the risk is very minimal. So here is the alert again over the weekend. So the next candle you'll see will be for that Monday. So let's see how this one played out. So right there, kind of still within the range. And then right there, the price really collapsed and down it went. So right there around a 7.3% loss, give or take a little bit. Could have been smaller, could have been maybe slightly more. But let's just say, because I want to turn this, well, first off, here we go. This was an alert that just flat out didn't work out. So I can't sit here and make it seem like, hey, sign up and you'll never lose because it'll always be winning alerts. No, that would just be a lie and not realistic. But let's pretend and let's kind of turn this into a learning lesson here. Let's just say you got undisciplined. You're like, no, it'll come back up. It'll come back up. No, it'll come back up. I'm not going to sell. Nope, it'll come back up. I know I could have been out for 7.3%, but it'll come back up. See, I told you it'll come back up. Told you, look at it bottoming out. Okay, now it just went to new lows. And now it just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and bleeds some more and bleeds some more and put in a low. And that movement right there was down 52%. So, think about it. Think about disciplined versus potentially undisciplined. Now, sure, I realize that was like worst case scenario, but okay, fine. Let's just call it a 30% loss, a 40% loss. Still, 7.3 compared to even 20, compared to 20, 30, 40, 50%, yeah, stay disciplined. Because you never know. If you break the rules and you don't stay disciplined, you don't want to get yourself caught in some sort of buzzsaw like that where it just slowly grinds against you. So on 2 points, the first point, yeah, this one was a losing trade. I can't sit here and proclaim that if you sign up, everything will be a winner. And then the second point, this is exactly why it's so important to stay disciplined within your trading. Next one to keep an eye on here was LJPC, and you can see right here a pullback play, just an absolutely monster move. So one of these things where, I very clearly state do not chase, but, if there's some panic that shows up, meaning a pullback right around the 850-ish area. So let's see how this one played out. So there's the chart and going into the weekend, so we'll see how things played out. And you can see right there, big old pullback. So don't chase. And, from that kind of alone, I would like to think that members save themselves quite a bit of headache than having to, endure some sort of pullback like that. You can see here, it took a while, but then the price did finally go back to right around that area and spent some time right around the 50-ish area, and then came back to life very, very nicely and made the move up there for a 21% move. Now, I'm not saying that anybody, played it perfectly or anything like that, but let's say you screwed up half the trade. That's still 10%. And what was the discipline loss at? Well, 7%. So, you look at just these two, and by being disciplined and keeping it at 7 or 8%, and then screwing up half of this trade and getting 10%, you're all of a sudden in the green plus 2%. So think about that, the power of discipline. Let's go on to the next one. And just to point out a few things, keep in mind the first one we looked at, ASNA, that was a loser. That was a below $1 stock. Then we just looked at one that was right around $8.50. And now once again, we're looking at something that's down here, below essentially, the right around the 50-cent mark. So the category for this one was just kind of a history repeat. Not kind of, it was a history repeat, and then ENT. And basically what I point out here is, hey, last time it surged in volume, it needed to go through this consolidation phase. And once again, got the surge in volume, but, is it just going to do some consolidating first before, repeating history like it did here? So again, surge, consolidation, move up. Here is again a volume surge. Was it going to consolidate a little bit before moving back up? So let's see if history did repeat itself or not. So let's see how this one played out. Right there on Monday. There we go, some consolidation. Some more consolidation. Maybe history is going to repeat itself. Starts to work its way back upwards. And you can see worked its way even more and even more and even more. And that brought up the potential gain to 63%. I realize distance-wise, that doesn't seem like it moved that much. But you got to keep in mind, this was a penny stock here where those percentages add up very, very quickly. So, it went from right around the mid-50s up to almost $1. So 63% move in really just a couple of weeks. Again, let's say you screwed up half the trade. All right, so you're looking at right around 31%. So again, 31% easily wipes away the discipline loss of 7, we'll just call that 8% loss from the very first one. Easily wipes that away just because you were disciplined. But actually, this one was such a monster move that it could have potentially wiped away an undisciplined, but don't make your life harder on yourself. So now we've had 2 trades in a row here that would have very, very, very easily wiped away that undisciplined trade, not the undisciplined trade, the disciplined trade. The next one we'll take a look at here, XONE, and just wondering, will it get continuation? As I point out, it's already broken the trend line, so it's broken it, then done some consolidation, but can it get continuation? Meaning, can this move continue to the upside? So let's see how this one played out. So Monday right here, you can see that things start off pretty strong, and things remain strong, get stronger, get even stronger, and they just keep getting stronger and stronger and even stronger. So that move right there, good for 62.4% in basically a week and a half, essentially a week. Again, let's just say you screwed up half the trade. So there's still another 31% move. And this is, remember, all in the same exact week. So we started off with that losing trade, and then we've had, 20%, and then 2 60% moves in a row. So stay disciplined, and those losses can be quickly wiped away, and you can quickly build your account because you never know when weeks like this come around where, this has been literally, just winter after winter now after that first kind of discipline loss. And then for the final alert that I sent out on the week, I always send out 5 chart setups. So we're on number 5 here, and we'll see how this one turned out. But number 5 was for TEUM, and just wondering and kind of throwing out there, double bottom potential, double bottom just being a technical pattern. So I point out here that, if the price could come down here, then you might have a double bottom pattern, which means, it finds support and then bounces back again. So that would be bottom 1, that would be bottom 2, hence the double bottom pattern. So let's see if this played out or not. So let's see how this one all played out. So showed some signs of strength at first, but then began to roll back over. And right there, right to that green line, went actually slightly below it by a couple pennies. And then from there, let's see if things turn around, and looks like the double bottom is in play. Continues to chug along, a little bit of a consolidation there before continuing to work its way upwards. And look at that. Absolutely beautiful move. and that move right there was good for 70%. Again, I get it. The distance doesn't seem that big, but when you're talking about something going from essentially $2 up to almost $3.50, then yeah, that was, had, that hit $4, that's a 100% move right there, but it didn't quite go up that high. So again, I get it from a distance perspective. It doesn't seem that much of a bounce, but yeah, when you're talking about this price range of, $2, that definitely worked its way very nicely from a percentage standpoint. But once more, let's say you screwed up half the trade and only got 35%. So once again, going back to that very first one, with a disciplined loss, easily would have been able to wipe that away with another, big mover here. So overall, though, 80% win rate on the week. This was definitely a great, I don't know if it was our best week ever, but I would say very, very respectable when you're looking at a 20% winner, a couple 60% winners, and then right here, a 70% winner. So yeah, a great week. But if anything, and probably my favorite part about all this is the learning lesson here about stay disciplined. And sure, I would love to say, see, we had a 100% win rate, but I'll take 80% win rate with a great educational lesson of why you want to stay disciplined and honor those stop losses. Because as you saw here, the disciplined win easily would have been overcome. Or excuse me, the disciplined loss would have easily become overcome with all these winning trades that then followed. So if you are interested in joining, very straightforward to do that. Just go to claytrader.com/team. And there's a couple different choices. You can just do the 99, or you can just get 3 months free with the 297. So not only do you get the newsletter, which we just saw here, there's also the live chat room where I am there very active on a daily basis, giving watch lists and making alerts as, action unfolds in real time. And there is the mobile app too, which I know is a common question. So it's not like you have to stay chained to your computer or anything like that. You can stay in touch, no matter where you are, and just a lot of good stuff going on there. And, with the $99, we'll just use that amount. The question really becomes, if I invest $99, do I believe the service can help me make more than $8.25, not per day, but per week? Because if you think the service can lead you to $8.25 or more per week, then you will be turning a profit on the $99 investment. If you don't think it'll help you make $8.25 per week, then yeah, definitely don't, invest into the program, because you will lose money. But $8.25, that's the number you need to focus on whether or not you can think the program and the service here can help you make more than that per week. I'm confident it can make you more than $8.25 per week, but I guess I am a little biased. But hopefully you see the value here, and if there are any other questions or anything, please let me know in the comment section or reach out to me via the site. If not, get signed up and I'll see you on the inside.